separate realities, a solution for happy and healthy holidays. And every year around this time, I get so disturbed when people are so wrapped up in what has yet to happen and what could happen around their holiday tables. And I said, well, let's let people know there's another option, another way. And that's what I'm here to share. And of course, it happens around any table at any time and any election and anything. But the holidays tend to, like, we have ideas about the holidays that may or may not be true. And I'm not going to speak for Jerry, but I'm sure that if he was standing here, he would say that he used to not really look forward to me around my family around the holidays. Is that true? Is that true? Yeah. Okay, I thought so. And I think, like, every year I think about. Every year I think about really how grateful I am to have the time with my kids and my family and whoever shows up or not, and to see how my perspective has shifted because of these teachings that I'm going to share with you. So so I wanted to begin by just saying, like, I'm grateful for the opportunity to share that. I'm grateful for this beautiful unity community. Really, it's such a, and the blessings that you shared. Like, the song that played and the blessings that you shared were beautiful. I'm sure some of you have heard this. If you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family. Ram Dass. I looked up the quote, and this is actually how the quote is. It's not what I used to think it is. And so, I mean, we laugh, but it can really be a benchmark for where we are in our relationship with ourselves. That's what I want to put out. So, if you were to say, like, the holidays can be, what would you say?
Fun.
They can be fun. But, like, what's the whole smorgasbord of what the holidays can be? Hectic, a lot of work, active,
lots of stuff.
A downer, yeah. Like they. I feel like I'm loud. They have the whole buffet is available, right? The whole buffet is available. And so let's see what else is available, or what we want to feed ourselves with on this buffet. Because I want to say that the downer, the hectic, the busy is no longer required. It's no longer required. Okay. This elephant. Okay, I'm going to read you a story, and I apologize if you've all heard this before, but I like this short version of it. A group of blind men heard that a strange animal called an elephant had been brought to town, but none of them were aware of its shape and form. Out of curiosity, they said, "We must inspect and know it by touch, of which we are capable." So they sought it out, and when they found it, they groped about it. The first person whose hand landed on the trunk said, "This being is like a thick snake." For another one whose hand reached his ear, it seemed like a kind of fan. As for another person whose hand was upon its leg, said, "The elephant is a pillar-like tree trunk." The blind man who placed his hand upon its side said, "It is a wall." And another who felt its tail described it as a rope. The last felt its tusk, stating that the elephant, which is hard and smooth, is like a spear. So what do we learn from this parable? We don't have to be blind to see things differently, right? What else do we, like, do you get that? Like, do you get that? We're all seeing, touching, feeling, hearing something different.
Perceptions.
We're all sections.
Perception.
Perception, yes, our perception. Our perception.
And what they were seeing with their touch was all correct as far as it goes.
Yes, they were, everything they saw, they were sharing what they experienced. It was all correct. None of it was wrong. That's important.
Take the small things in the context of a much larger picture.
Take the small things in the context of a much larger picture. I love that.
Or to sample something different.
To sample something different.
That means that every experience is valid.
Every experience is valid.
Yes, every experience is valid. So we're standing around the smorgasbord of the Thanksgiving table, and every experience is valid. Okay. I wrote an article on Medium a couple years ago, I think 4 years ago to be exact, about this image. And I went to replace it with something more current. There was nothing, it was like so current. So I ask you, what do you see?
A heart.
A heart. What else do you see?
States.
States.
All one.
All one.
All separate.
All separate.
A cup.
A cup. Yeah. This happens to be a logo for a news organization, and called Smart Her News. Smart Her News. And Jenna is the creator of Smarter News, and I had the pleasure of having several beautiful conversations with her as she started her company several years ago. But like, here's one image. The United States, the separate states, you know, we all, it's, of course, in this room, we all see the heart, right? But there it is. One image, no wrong, no right, our separate perceptions.
We have to love it all.
We get to love it all. I'm going to modify it so we get to love it all. Unity principle number 3. Our thoughts have creative power to influence events and determine our experiences. I'm going to say it again. Our thoughts have the creative power to influence events and determine our experiences. I want to remind us what a principle is. It's not an idea. It's a principle is, gravity is a principle. It doesn't happen sometimes in some places. Well, it doesn't happen on the moon, but, and principles happen all the time, whether we see them or not, whether we believe them or not, principles are true.
They're also our pals, the last 3 letters. Pals.
They're also our pals. I love that. The last 3 letters of, yes,
But it's whispered.
lovely. Yeah. They're always true. We're the ones that don't see them as always true. So the affirmation was what was so important to me, that we are only and always experiencing our thinking about people, circumstances, situations, and I've recently added diagnoses to that. We are only and always experiencing our thinking about it, our thinking about the mug, our thinking about the elephant, our thinking about what's on the Thanksgiving table or who's around the Thanksgiving table. We're only and always experiencing our thinking. This has been like so revelatory for me. This has been so revelatory for me. Like, I don't know, there's a part of me that loves to be in control. And if I'm in control of my experience, that's awesome. And if I don't like it, then I get to do something about it. That has nothing to do with what anyone else says or does. The blame game is over. For anyone, any circumstance, any situation. Everyone in a war-torn town does not experience the same thing. Everyone with the same diagnosis does not experience the same thing. And I know that feel like there are exceptions to this principle, but I'm gonna suggest that the principles only exist in our minds and in our creation of them, And when we understand that we're the creator of that experience, then that's the choice point. I can't choose, the way I see it is I don't choose what comes through, but I choose, when I become aware of it, I choose what I do with it. And the peace of mind and the peace of body that comes from that is extraordinary. It's really extraordinary. And I just want to pause and invite you to throw out something that looks like an exception to the rule. Yeah.
Yes, sometimes when a person stops thinking, and I've experienced this a number of times, a whole different perception can open up to a person, entirely different. Like seeing somebody as light.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that you shared how we can see we have different perceptions. That's what I heard. Was that accurate?
What did you say?
We can have different perceptions. We can have different perceptions and of the same thing. And so we have separate realities of people, circumstances, and situations, and we also have different separate realities of ourselves. So 1 minute I can be in disturbance about something about me, and the next minute I can be in peace with it. Because the meaning that I give to the situation. So acceptance, rather than something that I need to do or cultivate or practice, acceptance has shown up to me as an outcome of understanding how experience is created. So when I have moments of forgetfulness, and that when I'm not accepting something, I have a moment that I'm forgetting that I'm the creator of my reality. And that's all. Wow. I don't have to have an acceptance practice, because I don't know about you, but I was never good at trying to talk myself into something that didn't feel true. Or I could do it for like a nanosecond, right? It wasn't sustainable. It wasn't sustainable. But when I understand that every person around the table is seeing and doing and acting from the perception that they have, from the glasses that they have, from the view that they have, then everything that they're doing makes sense. I might not like it, I might not agree with it, but it makes sense. It makes sense. So, what do you see about understanding separate realities as a solution for peace of mind and a happy and healthy holiday?
That we're in control.
That
we
we're-
have the choice.
We have the choice of once we're aware of where our attention is, then we have the choice, yes.
They all have their own truth.
And yes, beautiful. Just like the blind men and the elephant, they all have their own truth. And yeah, go ahead.
And depending of our awareness, example, other person have our perception. It's not going against that. It's just realize that everybody is in different frequencies, everybody's in different experience, in different backgrounds, in different blueprints. So it's not just fighting, just allow that different experiences being brought into light, because more than we may resistant to it and take it personal. No, and working my stuff, allow others to express themselves. And that maybe create more unity than trying to be.
Yes, yes. And when I'm bumping up against someone, then I know that my ego is driving the bus and wanting to make me right and them wrong. And that's all that's happening.
Yeah.
That's all that's happening. And that happens, but again, awareness will allow me to stay in it, in my righteousness, or even judge someone else in their righteousness. But just the awareness. And Judy, and you said, how do I remember this? Okay? So if it was the way I see it now, is if it was something that we were to remember, or if it was something that we could practice enough and get it, we'd all be there, right? I mean, we've all practiced things enough to be in that direction. I love that I have an internal compass that is constantly giving me feedback. And I probably have said this in this room before, but I'll say it again. It's like the hot-cold game the kids play. So, I'm blindfolded and someone's guiding me to where the fire is. And I take a step this way. Oh, you're getting colder. Oh, you're getting warmer. Oh, you're getting warmer. Oh, you're getting warmer. You know that game?
Yeah.
So we have that inside. We're getting closer to the feeling we want, or we're getting away from the feeling that we want. And that feeling comes in different ways for different people. For me, it's like tightness, a contraction. That's how I describe it. Some people, we all have our different guidance for it. So, for most of my life, I didn't want to, I only wanted to feel what I wanted to feel, when I wanted to feel it, and how deeply I wanted to feel it. Like, that's how good my control system was working. And I think we can all relate to some, we would, drink or smoke or have some habit, overthinking, we'd have some habit to keep that alive, to keep the idea that we don't have to feel everything.
Distractions.
They're endless. All of it. And so as I become more comfortable with the temporary nature of feeling, knowing that it only and always comes and goes, I'm less bothered by the contraction, the tightness. I like being aware of it because it tells me it gives me immediate feedback where I'm hanging out. It gives me immediate feedback where my attention is. And in that immediate feedback, then I can come back in the room.
So in terms of separation,
Yes?
I can discern a situation, but that does not mean I need to judge the situation. So I can judge my own reaction and how I'm going to deal with it, but judging the circumstance or the situation or the diagnosis or whatever is not productive. But the discernment is,
Yeah.
or can be.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a question in there? Can I take it?
Sure.
Yeah. And I don't know that I can control my judgments of myself or others, but that there's a feeling that comes when I'm judging. And that feeling is also a divine tap on the shoulder going, Ellen, wake up. Wake up that you're in ego consciousness and not unity consciousness, not God consciousness. Just that wake-up call. And whatever I want or need to do in that moment shows up.
So my example is mincemeat pie.
Mincemeat pie.
There are some people that feel like that
They,
mincemeat pie is not that good, and so we shouldn't have it for Thanksgiving.
I don't say that.
If you look at it really and accept it, we should have a mincemeat pie, and all of you that don't like it shouldn't eat it. That way there is more for me.
yeah. But I thank you for bringing the humor into it, but I love what you're saying because it's true about everything. Like, thank you for bringing a lighthearted example about mincemeat pie into the room, because what if it's true about everything? There's the source of peace and health and happiness. And it's not about not having judgments or not having tension. It's about waking up to it. The sooner we wake up, then the sooner we get to do something with it.
You can train it,
Hmm?
You can train it. It's like a muscle. It's like making exercises. More than you train it that, okay, this triggered me or I'm projecting this. Oh, more conscious you are about your thoughts and about you react
Yeah.
to them. More you can train it in that it's not about right or wrong. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
It is.
You can train what is, yeah. All the best to you to do that. I don't want to tell you how many thousands of dollars and years trying to train myself. And I'm not saying that it wasn't helpful, but understanding has been the source of my peace. Understanding. And so when I thought about an image that I wanted to share with you, this image of this, this is not AI, this is a tree in New Zealand.
Wow.
Yeah. And So I wanted to share that with you and wish you all a peaceful, healthy holiday, every day and holiday. And rather than thinking we shouldn't have our experiences, using them to wake up in the moment to choice. Many blessings.